Well, from the calm waters of the St. Lawrence to the vibrant colors of the circuit here in Le Castellet, welcome along to the river and the rural countryside of Round 8 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic Performance Tier and the French Grand Prix. France, sitting in at about 244,300 square miles, is the largest country in the European Union in land area, but in terms of population, it is the most visited country in terms of tourism. Well, this is thanks to the numerous locations like the Eiffel Tower, Paris itself, and on race weekends, the French Grand Prix. Well, let's talk about the French Grand Prix then. The Circuit Paul Ricard was built in 1969 and over the course of the 50 years has hosted 22 French Grand Prix, and the circuit has 15 corners, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, which makes up the 5.842 kilometer, 6.63 mile distance. That covers the amount of the beautiful, I guess, red, white, and blue layout here at Le Castellet. There are two DRS zones. One of them run into turn 1, and the other right here are the run down into turn 8 down the Mulsanne chicane. Well, let's see how these overtakings go, and these drivers will go on this long chicane broken up by that chicane right here and about right there. You'll see during the course of this race. Well, it would aid overtaking in a circuit that is debatably not too difficult to overtake. Well, just like any other circuit, though, the tire strategy is a necessity. Pirelli has responded with bringing in the C4, C3, and C2 compounded tire, with the C4 being the red-wooled soft, C3 being the yellow-wooled medium, and the C2 being the white-wooled hard tire, plus the intermediates and full wet tire if the driver deems so necessary. Well, the driver who makes up the best of their strategy will most likely come home with a boatload of points to their name. Right now, it looks all dry and sunny and clear skies. I don't even see a cloud up in the sky. To be fair, I don't even see the sky. But that means these guys are not going to be using the intermediates or full wets anytime soon. As some guys, example, Kieran Evans is going to start his flying lap in a few moments' time. Let's take a look at the championship. Moo the Ferrari once again leads at 94 points with his name, 8 points clear of the McLaren of UnsightedPort. Zachthebeast, he's up to P3 in the championship. The Red Bull, he's 6 points clear of his teammate, Miniko, in 4th. 75 points the first Red Bull, 69 for Miniko in the second one. Bailey, the sister team, in the Alpha Tauri is now 1 point behind, now in P5 with 68 points to his name, 10 points clear of Deer Hunter in the Mercedes, who's not attending tonight. Cookie, the other Ferraris, down in P7, 52 points to his name, 6 points back of Deer Hunter in 6th. Well, with Deer Hunter not being here, can he improve his position in the Scuderia Red Ferrari? John, the other Mercedes, unfortunately, he is also not here. He sits P8 with 38 points to his name, 10 points clear of Taylor Clan in the McLaren. Well, he sits 3 points clear of DRC Jared in the Alpine, who sits 2 points clear of his teammate, Ferrari Nut, in the other Alpine. Let's go to the Constructors then. Red Bull, they took the lead of the Constructors Championship after a week ago. A strong, once again, another 1-2, second in a row for that Milton Keynes team. 22 points clear of McLaren. They sit 56 points clear of Mercedes. Well, they moved up to P3. Alpha Tauri still challenge them there, 9 points back. In P4, Ferrari with 66 points is in P5. They are 18 points clear of Alpine in 6th. Aston Martin, they're right on the tails of the Alpine team. 6 points adrift with 42. Alfa Romeo sits P8, 15 points to their name. Haas sits P9 with 11. And Williams grabbed their first points paying positions a week ago in Montreal. Well, now I'm Hey Catcher going alongside Bois. And like I was in Monaco, well, now Bois, just like Monaco, strategy will be key here. But unlike in Monaco, it's much, much easier to overtake. What would you go with? The 2-stop with hopes to overtake or the 1-stop with hopes to defend?
It's been interesting. I've heard some teams wanting to do a 1-stop or 2. I think the main question I have is, what is your start tire going to be? Which is the medium or the soft, which we'll see that play out in Q2. I would like to see, if you could do the 1-stop, I would like to see it. Just a question of which compound you're going to use first, either the soft or the medium, and you're most likely going to use that hard tire no matter what for the 1-stop.
Well, according to the weather forecast, we have a little bit of an interesting race going in. One of the first ones this season. Race is a full wet start. They'll go to intermediates. Yes, in the intermediates, and they'll dry out halfway through the race. We could have a bit of rain throw a spanner in the works so far. We'll see what these guys go on. Crispy right now in the Alpha Tauri on the medium C3 tires. He's at provisional P1, 31.5 ahead of Kieran Evans in the Williams, and I am Tweaking, who's on a 32.9 in the Haas. And, well, Tweaking's first race back after a couple Grand Prix. Glad to see him back in the American outfit. Well, let's go look through. Luciano is back at the pits. Cookie once again. He is here out lap. Ed Tronha, the Alfa Romeo, he's back. He's on a flying lap, which is invalidated so far. Phantom in the Aston Martin. As Raptor goes provisional pole with a 29.7 in the Mercedes, once again reserving for one of the Mercedes drivers. The other one, Dixie Ishigo, he's also reserving for the other Mercedes team. Brackley has once again a double reserve lineup like they did a couple weeks ago, I believe. And well, who doesn't have a double reserve lineup is Red Bull, Miniko, and Zachthebeast, even though we have to look on for this white bull here in Zachthebeast, who's on a flying lap right now. He's going through the couple final corners, turn 14 into 15. He has a problem. What is it, Bois?
He's had an issue with his pedals. Brief just conversation with him. Apparently, he's in the process of swapping his pedals out because the spring broke. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully that doesn't cause a big issue for him. He's been on really good form, 2 podiums in a row, one at Baku 2 races ago. So hopefully that problem won't cause him to have a DNF. That would really hurt for him in the championship, which is very close between him and his teammate. He's actually ahead of his teammate. So hopefully that doesn't happen to him.
More times have been on the board. Supply Raptor, once again, he went provisional pole. He's now about 8/10 or so clear of his teammate DXT Ishigo in the other Mercedes. Ishigo had one tryout in the Brackley-based team and the Brackley-based car about a couple weeks ago, and Monaco didn't really end well for him and the Mercedes outfit. Monaco was definitely a race for forget. He wants redemption here in here in Paul Ricard, not too far away from Monaco, actually, to be fair. Taylor is in P3 setup with a 30.6 so far. So once again, Mercedes powered 1, 2, 3, 4. Crispy 4th on the medium. Zachthebeast, his first lap, 32.5. He's trying again, though. Can he improve in that Red Bull outfit? More guys on outlaps as we have a yellow flag to the sector 3. It looks like it may be either a slow McLaren or a Mercedes diving into the pit lane. We have a couple more. Yes, I believe you are correct.
I think what's going to be, you mentioned about the full wet start. What that does do is it changes qualifying, the strategy completely. Now you're not trying to get into Q3 on mediums or playing that game because it doesn't matter because you're going to start on intermediates or wets. And you don't have to worry about the tire compound game. So whatever strategy you want, you could theoretically, if it rains along into the race, you could just run intermediate softs or whatever it is. So that changes a lot for strategy.
Yes, it does, and that's going to be one thing to look out for. Right now, we've had 2 drivers bolt those C3 mediums on. Ferrari Nut has gone 33.0 in P10 at the moment, and the other one being, once again, Crispy in P6 now. Phantom goes to P7, 31.555, and that Aston Martin once again trying to look for some points. Well, we have a lot of other drivers going on. Luciano is now on the track, and Port goes for provisional P2, 29.8. Moo behind him, 30.0. And look at that. The other Ferrari, Boss Cookie, 30.0 as well. The Ferrari is looking pacey and close in this Guru outfit.
Watching, Axe had a moment there, unfortunately. The last time I was on here, Axe, Monaco not being an engine-dependent track, and it helps the teams like Haas, but Axe got into Q3, did a wonderful job in the first 2/3 of that race, got his issue, but watching it from afar while I was out with Red Bull, he finally got his redemption from Monaco. So let's see what happens with him. With the rain a factor, that could actually see him get points.
Yes, it could possibly make the that white Haas, that American outfit, someone to look out for. You saw Axe is actually very pacey as of late, grabbing Haas some points a week ago. I believe, P6 for the American team in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if he can replicate that tonight. And Luciano's off. He's now going into the pit lane, by the way.
If memory serves me right, was it a wet start for last week's race? Was it just wet qualifying? I can't.
It was a wet qualifying.
Right.
Well, yes. It was went from dry to wet in qualifying 2, and it was a full intermediate qualifying 3. Well, some of these guys were trying to find out what they can do. You see that slow McLaren getting out of the way for the Alfa Romeo of Ron Swanson. He had a difficult race, to say the least, a week ago because he tried to bolt on those intermediate tires a little bit too early, hoping it would rain because it had a little bit of rain and sprinkling down on the halos and the cars towards the end of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, the rain didn't really come to that fruition. Miniko fastest so far, 29.686. He goes provisional pole, and Ron Swanson goes to P11, 32.252, about 5 hundredths of a second or so behind Zachthebeast in P10. And, well, Bailey, what has happened there? That is actually, Kieran Evans And I believe that is a Red Bull. Was that
It
Zachthebeast? No, it was Miniko.
It looked like I caught the tail end of that as well. I was watching Ron. They both were stopped, and I assumed at the time they both were stopped letting Ron through, but I didn't see the Williams sideways until, yeah, the camera went to this. That was interesting.
What has happened there? Well, thankfully, both those drivers remain unscathed. I don't think there's any damage, and thankfully as well, I don't think there is any time penalties or grid places going their way. So far, it looks all clear and true right now. The Williams down in P12, Kieran Evans and Miniko with the provisional best time. Edronha's on a flying lap. Luciano's on a flying lap. Ferrari Nut's going to go on another flying lap. This time he's on the softs. Let's go check a look at see what the tires each driver has bolted on. Everyone has the softs on except for, once again, Crispy in 8th, who's on another flying lap. And Fern has put on those medium compounded tire as well. He's not ventured out of the pit lane, though.
I'm bored with Zach on my end.
Yes.
He ran 5 laps on his softs. I don't know if this is a new set or if that's that same set, but I do wonder, because if you look at the gap between him and where his teammate is, there has to be some sort of issue as supply has retired. I'm going to assume he did that on pit road. Yeah, that was a surprise. I realized where he was in the points. That's actually good for supply.
Yep, Zachthebeast now goes and bolts on to the pit lane. He put 5 laps on those set of tires, hopefully trying to figure out exactly the limits he could push with. Phantom has put it on the intermediate tires. That's he's not out of the pit lane yet. He's just a little bit of fun there.
This isn't the time.
Other drivers have retired at the pit lane. Both McLaren, Zachthebeast5 and UnsightedPort have. Once again, other drivers are going on out laps and flying laps. Ishigo down in 7th. He's on an out lap once again. Kieran Evans is on a flying lap. Let's run on board with the Williams down the Mulsanne straight as he goes down into the Mulsanne chicane. There's a lot of variants of this layout for La Castellet, but this one is the one they've chosen. 15 corners, like I said, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with this long Mulsanne straight pretty much broken up between, well, one chicane.
Well, this track is built for one purpose. Peugeot, when they were racing Audi 15 years ago, this was the test track for Peugeot, and the Mulsanne straight, this chicane is very similar to the second Mulsanne chicane at the wall. So this is also why there's a lot of runoff and no gravel, no grass, because they wanted to maximize running the laps. So, and there's sprinklers here, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't need them for the race, we've heard, but yeah.
Well, we've had a little bit of insight of what happened between the Williams and the Red Bull. Looks like he spun out at the exit of turn 2 as Miniko was there, trying to avoid him. So far, you see Zachthebeast retired in the pit lane, and as DC Ishigo has started his flying lap. Kieran Evans, once again, is going on a flying lap. Behind him, though, tweaking going through turns 1 and 2 with the Alfa Romeo. Is that Ed Tronha right behind him? It may actually be. No, it's not. It's Ron Swanson who's on an out lap. Ed Tronha just finished his flying lap, I believe, P12 at the moment for the Alfa Romeo. Not too far behind his teammate, but I believe that was Luciano.
Yes.
Went up to P8.
Yes, it was. So we have 3 that have not done a lap. Bailey is on the Mulsanne straight as I speak. Fern is on mediums as well. And Act is on his out lap. I think he invalidated on his first 2 attempts. So I want to say Zach is safe, even though he retired, but with now, we'll see. That time, I will not say it's 100% safe. He's only got to beat 4 cars. So,
It's going to be, I believe he should be safe for now. We'll have to see how the rest of the drivers play out. You see Bailey going through into turn 13. He's going to approach turn 14 and 15 in a couple moments' time. Yellow flag, that was the exit of sector, actually the final corner. I believe someone has gone into the nature of the pit lane. Bailey through 14 into 15 for the final time. And his qualifying lap looks pretty nice and tidy. I don't see any problems with it. We'll see what this first run for the AlphaTauri will be. His teammate on the mediums, though, P9. Bailey goes P7 at 30.550 as Kieran Evans goes out of the pit lane. Once again, he's in the bottom 5. Same with Tweaking, Ferrari Nut, and XF1, who's on a flying lap, as Crispy just retired in the pit lane.
Crispy, that's a... Just seem to do that on mediums, unless that initial time is on softs. Tweaking has spun. He has spun off of turn 2. He has enough time to start another lap. The question is, how bad are his tires? Shows only 1 lap, so he should, in theory, have enough time to do another flyer and recharge the battery.
You should, but how close will it be? We'll have to see, because his teammate is approaching the final corner, now exiting it now onto the DRS straight for the main straight for the final time of his flying lap. There's 2 minutes left to go. Where does that put him? P13, 31.9, about a 10th off of Zachthebeast in P12. That now puts Kieran Evans down in the bottom 5 with Ed Tronha, the driver, at risk. That's going to be a one looking out for. 2 minutes to go. The drivers need to start getting out now. Purple sector 2, apparently, for the Alfa Romeo of Ron Swanson. He's on a flying lap. He approaches turn 11 here. This is a very interesting corner. Flowing right-hander, kind of downshifting as it goes. It's kind of the altitude. Not the altitude. I guess the elevation has a little bit of elevation shift. You see Phantom, I believe. It was either Phantom. Yeah, it was Phantom. Exit of turn 1 and 2. It may have gone around, and that's the yellow flag down the Mistral straight. And it looks like a Haas out of gas.
I believe that is Axe. He might be out of gas, or he might be trying to recharge the battery and then having a second go. He's got, I want to say, enough time. As Ron goes P14.
I don't think he improved, but these guys right now, Jared and Fern, both have yet to set a lap. They have 1 minute and 15 seconds left to get their all the way around the track. It's gonna be tight for Jared. Fern is gonna be easily through to that line at least. He's gonna be on those C3 tires, which is gonna be interesting actually, because once again, only the driver who's gone on those C3 tires for a qualifying run is Crispy down in 10th with a 31.3 for the Alpha Tauri team. We'll have to see how that plays out for him. Jared is now going through in the Mistral straight to the Mistral chicane, and actually I just realized Jared's in the Williams.
I noticed that. Wasn't he supposed to be in the Alpine? Wasn't he Alpine at Monaco, right?
Yes, he was the Alpine driver. Well, that's a little, I guess, shades of Mexico a season ago, if you can remember. Remember, Taylor Clan won the championship a season ago in the Ferrari when he was contracted for Red Bull.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have another similar situation here tonight.
Unfortunately for X, he is pitting. He is out of fuel, so that's unfortunate for him. Well, actually, no, take that back. He's P13 at the moment.
He may be safe.
He might be safe.
Let's figure it out. It's going to be close, by the way, for Ferrari not to make it across. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He didn't make it. Checkered flag flies. Luciano's done. Axe and done. Ron's done. Jared's done. He's out of qualifying. Ferrari Nut's out of qualifying. Fern is going slowly.
Yeah,
he's out of qualifying. It's going to be down to Tweaking. He pits. He's out of qualifying. It's down to Kieran Evans.
He's also pitting.
Etronha, the driver at... We'll see. Etronha, the driver's at risk right now. He cannot improve. It's going to be down to Kieran Evans. He's down the Mistral straight. Going into turn 10. The flat right.
Oh,
how much has he improved? He needs about a 10th.
Let's see. So far, he hasn't validated.
You could recall a week ago, he grabbed the first points-paying positions for Williams with 2 points to his name after a P9 finish at Canada. Well, can he get into qualifying 2 for the first time in the Williams? We'll have to see. At the exit of turn 15, he needs about a 10th or so in the Williams. Can he beat Ed Tronha? And can he get out of the bottom 5? He can!
Wow.
He replaces Ed for 15th. Ed's out of qualifying. Tweaking's out of qualifying. Ferrari Nut and Fern, both Alpines out of qualifying, and Jared in the Williams is out of qualifying in 19th.
Well, that's interesting. I did not have both Alpines at their home race not making into Q2. That's not ideal for being on your home turf.
No, it's not at all. Fern's taking some creative track limits, you see, but he's out of qualifying anyway. I don't think he really cares too much. He now goes paraded into the pit lane. He's the only driver yet to cross. He's going to go actually take it to the line. So, out of qualifying once again, Ed Tronha and the Alfa Romeo. The Haas of I Am Tweaking, out-qualified by AXF1 once again. Not one, but 2 Alpines in their home Grand Prix. Ferrari Nut and Fern are out of qualifying 1, along with DRC Jared in the Williams. Well, we have 1 session down, 2 to go.
Yeah, both Alpines are running nose to tail at the end of Q1.
Yes, they were. Well, like it was a week ago in Canada, the man who tops the timing sheets in qualifying 1, Miniko of the Red Bull, he tops Supply Raptor in P2, UnsightedPort P3. But remember back to Baku, the last time Supply Raptor was in the Merc, he almost won it. Can he do it so far here today? He's going to have a lot of weather and a lot of other drivers to contest with. Port 4th, Boss Cookie 5th, Taylor Clan 6th, Bailey 7th, DXD Ishigo, Luciano Crispy top 10, Phantom is P11, Zachthebeast F1, Ron Swanson, Kieran Evans, the top 15, Ed Tononha out of qualifying with I Am Tweaking, both Alpines of Ferrari Nut and PSR Fern, and DRC Jared is out of qualifying as well in the Williams.
Well, what we will see in the race is to see if anyone did any wet practice. Everyone hates it, so we'll see. That's also going to be a factor as well, so I'm interested to see that.
Well, actually, here's the one thing to look out for, is we already know the struggles with Zachthebeast in his starts.
Yeah.
Well, take the fact with new pedals and in the wet, could we possibly see something even more detrimental? So as Grand Prix happen, it's going to happen to see... it's going to be hard for him, but he's going to have to, I guess, adjust the best he can.
He's just going to have to push through it. We already have one person out. Oh, well, I was going to go with one bet, but it's not. Oh, wait, I might be right. Hang on. Let's see if this streak continues.
Well, it is an Alpha Tauri. Who is it, though?
Who do you think?
It's Bailey and Crispy.
Oh, I don't know what it is, but
Phantom.
Bailey just loves being P1. And for unique reasons, they're on mediums.
Yeah, they are.
Bailey's on mediums, and so is Crispy. In fact, it looks like we have a handful going on mediums, which is surprising. So, unless this is the banker lap for later, I mean, with pending rain at the start, if we know 100% it's going to rain at the start, I wouldn't perhaps maybe understand this. But who knows? Maybe it will be a surprise and it's not raining at the start. It's going to rain at lap 3. We'll see.
We'll have to see indeed. If you're now just tuning in to the broadcast, well, welcome along. Well, you're not going to be at a loss for action, because not only in qualifying, we'll have a wet start for the Grand Prix and the French Grand Prix for round 8 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic tier, and it will, as the race goes on, the rain will fade and we have a drier track to work with. But right now, that biggest talking point is the wet start, meaning everyone who qualifies in the top 10, I mean, if it's going to be a wet start, which is supposed to be forecasted for, the tires don't matter. You can go in with anything you want. We could see all 10 on the softs, the C4s. We could all see a scattered bunch of C3s on the mediums or C4s on the softs. It just really depends on what these drivers want to, how many do you want to save the soft compounded tires for qualifying 3 as the drivers now start their flying lap in a few seconds' time. We have Crispy the first one with Bailey in P2 at the moment on track with Phantom behind them in the Aston Martin. So we have both Alpha Tauris, then the Aston Martin of Phantom. Behind them is going to be another Aston Martin, but he's followed by the McLaren of UnsightedPort.
Another thing is setups. You know, with the rain coming, did any teams gamble and put their wet setup on and hope that advances them higher in the grid for Q2 and to get to Q3, or did some just put their dry setup, put all their eggs in this basket, and just deal with whatever happens in the race? And it's kind of a conundrum. You could do a middle, I guess, of the downforce if you'd like, but we'll see. The only thing you can adjust on these cars after starting qualifying is the front wing. So
invalidated his lap, by the way. Crispy in the Alpha Tauri. The other one, that's going to be the first one to cross the line with a foul at time, will be Bailey. By the way, to get more precise, I guess, measurement of the percentage of rain, it's 91% chance of rain at the start of the Grand Prix, so it could possibly still be a dry start. You'll have to figure out, and we'll have to see whenever the qualifying 2 and qualifying 3 tickers load away as we go and start the French Grand Prix. We're going through turn 13. Bailey is in the Alpha Tauri, and he's going to be the first one. Everyone is going to have to chase after that provisional pole lap here in qualifying 2 once again.
I think Bailey's
tires could still matter.
Actually.
No, that's Crispy. Bailey's going through turn 15.
Really? Oh, you're right. My pedals, this camera. I hate this camera. And he is the first one.
Yes, he is. 31.3 with Phantom, 31.6 on those softs. Phantom, I'm sorry, Bailey on the mediums. The next driver to cross the line should be Zachthebeast5. And the Mercedes, unless I'm mistaken, it was actually his teammate, Raptor, starting a flying lap. We have drivers getting out of the way. You see the Haas of XF1. UnsightedPort goes faster, 30.788. That's about, what, 4/10 or 5/10 faster. Luciano on the Aston Martin also went on mediums, 31.9. A lot of drivers choosing the C3s for their opening lap.
Zach is on a purple sector 1 as he goes through the Mulsanne straight chicane. I don't know what it's really called. Be interesting to see what he can do. You know, he had his struggles in Q1. I mean, I'm surprised we have so many guys on the medium tire, unless maybe being the fact that it is going to rain, they want to save their softs, and they expect us to do all softs for the race.
It could be definitely a factor, because then again, it's not guaranteed that it could rain. Remember, it's 91% chance. I mean, it's a slight 9% chance it stays dry, but what if it stays dry? You don't want to start on those softs here at France. Miniko, by the way, 30.1. That is his fastest and provisional pole time so far on the mediums. Zachthebeast approaching at the exit of turn 15. He's going to run the line as well. What can he do? Remember, he has the disadvantage with those pedals.
Wow.
P2, 30.7. Beats UnsightedPort's lap. It looks like he's up to speed.
He does. I mean, it is a 9% chance it doesn't rain. I mean, how many times have they said it's going to rain at a race, and we flipped on the TV and no rain? You remember Spa last year? Last year, not this year, last year. Everyone said it was going to rain, and we wake up and we're all pissed off that it doesn't rain.
And then we were sad again because Sainz didn't even start the race. Well,
no, he didn't.
It's going to be a different story to do here, because he got carted off before. His, what was it, his hydraulics?
I believe it was hydraulics. And what I remember of that race with Carlos Sainz is that sad look of his face. I think the realization that he was going to Ferrari and just how off the pace they were. But last year's last year, and this year Ferrari, I think Ferrari could beat Mercedes for P3. It's going to be a close battle between them.
Let's see. Speaking of the Mercedes, that's Zachthebeast5. He's got a 33.8. He did a little bit of a sloppy final sector. He wants to kind of smoothen those edges out. Boss-Cookie on the Mistral straight, the second part of it. Going down into turn 10, the flat right once again. Will it be flat in the race? That is a yellow flag. And is that a Mercedes of Supply Raptor, who, by the way, has actually gone up to P2? Yes, it looks like it has.
Yeah,
off
it
the pace
is.
and invalidated. Keep that in mind.
It looks like the red light is flashing and possibly fuel's an issue, so he'll come in. He's got plenty of time to do another go. But I think supplies time, I feel pretty confident that's okay. His teammate, though, 3 seconds off the pace. That's got to be higher up if he wants to get into Q3.
Well, speaking of wanting to get into Q3, XF1, he wanted to get it a week ago in Canada. I don't think he was actually able to. His only Q3 appearance, I believe, was Monaco. Well, he's so far on a flying lap. Unfortunately, it's been invalidated. Same with Boss Cookie and, I believe, Taylor Clan as well. You see, Moomoo's going to start a flying lap.
Max has crashed.
Oh!
Turn 1 to 2. Looked like the car snapped, got a bunch of understeer, and went sliding straight to the barrier. But luckily, it doesn't retire him. You can thank the massive runoff there to help slow his car down, and these different colored stripes here. Those are actually not painted stripes. They're like little grip strips, and they help slow the car down. So that probably helped save Axe, because initially that looked like that was going to be game over.
What is it? The blue is the I guess the least grip sensitive, then you have the red, then you have the white being the most grip sensitive. I think it's something like that.
Something like that. I mean, me personally, just put a layer of turf around the white line, and then have, the stripes, because then you won't have issue of what we had in the first or second race at this track, where you had guys just cutting the track on the final lap.
Yeah, Ricardo.
Right, yeah.
Looking at you.
Grosjean was one of them. Kimi was one of them.
Well, let's see. Speaking of the Ferrari-powered cars, here comes one now. Moo across turn 15. He's now across the start-finish straight. He goes for provisional pole, 29.895. That's on the C4 as a soft compounded tire, the first one. The top three, actually, DXD Ichigo has gone up to P3, 30.2 on the soft, so he beats his teammate so far. That one, again, is on a softer compounded tire, though. One step softer, to be exact. Everyone else is going to be on in the pit lane, except for Luciano. He's on a flying lap down in P10 at the moment. He's already set a lap. Well, he wants to set another one, going through the first couple of corners now into turn 4 and 5. You see what he can do through the first sector split. 4/10 up. He's on those softs again as well. So we'll see, is this the transition point? We have a lot of guys putting on those softs. Phantom, Luciano, Bailey, Port, Zach, DXD Ichigo had him on. Miniko's putting him on. Moomoo already set his lap with the soft compounded tire.
Yeah.
Boss Cookie and Ron Swanson, both soft. Crispy, whoa, what has happened there? I believe that was Moomoo getting out of the way.
I think what we're seeing here is all the guys that did do their initial run on mediums, guys like Bailey, I don't think that time's going to stick when you look at you're only at 6/10 to the good of P10, and you've only, well, now you have Kieran Evans, which, okay, that's the time that should theoretically be beat. But you have 4 guys that have not run a time yet, so this might be the time where you have to strap up the softs and just have to have no choice but to run in.
We'll see how they work out. Crispy's on a flying lap now, out lap for both Ron Swanson and Boss Cookie in 12th and 13th respectively. Luciano, though, he's P10. He had the C3s on. He now goes up to P4, 30.4, 2/10 adrift of the Mercedes of DXD Ichigo, splitting the Brackley-based team. Zachthebeast is on a flying lap. He went purple, sector 1. We'll see what the Red Bull can do. He's down in P6 at 30.7 and about, what, almost a second or so, 9/10 to be exact, off of pole. Let's go look at that from the leader's perspective. There's the Gaming Sables to see exactly the gaps between their position and the leader.
Crispy's going down the backstretch into the Mulsanne chicane. And he needs to put a time on the board.
Less than 4 minutes remaining in the session. Zachthebeast, by the way, went about 7/10 quicker in the middle sector than he did the previous lap on his medium compounded run. Well, let's see how he goes through. Turn 13 into 14 into 15. The last couple of corners now to go. The Red Bull's looking pretty pacey as he got up to space. Remember, to his pace before. Remember, he had a little bit of an issue with his pedals. Well, that's going to be the major factor tonight, and see how well he adjusts to it. Well, he's out of turn 15 now. To the line he goes. Moomoo's retired in the pit lane, so he thinks that's safe and done. Zachthebeast goes faster by about 4/10 of a second, a 29.475.
Crispy was on a good lap, then went wide, and now went back into the pits. Gonna be close if he can get back out to run a time, being the fact that he doesn't have a time on the board. We have Ron out on the track. Unknown, says that he is on his lap.
Yes. The next driver to cross the line, by the way, will be Kieran Evans, who's actually decided to stay on the medium compounded tire, trying to stick with those C3s, and, well, hopefully the Williams can get in his best possible position he can and fight the car and try to grow up in the top 10 for the first time for Williams and to get into Q3. Haas, the rival, did. Alfa Romeo has come close. Williams want to yellow flag, and that looks like a driver out the pace. I believe that is one of the Alpha Tauris. I believe that's Bailey getting out of the way. Kieran out of the final corner. He's P11 right now, 4 seconds adrift. He's now improved slightly on his time.
Here comes Ron out of the final corner. So far, that hasn't been validated. We'll see his time, and it will put him P11. He'll have time
about
for
3/10. Yep. 3/10 adrift to Phantom in P10. As Kieran's getting out of the way. Boss Cookies hasn't validated. Has he fueled for another run? If he hasn't, this is going to be detrimental because the Ferrari may not make it in the qualifying 3 here.
Actually, at the moment, it looks like we're only going to have one Ferrari-powered car in the top 10, with Ron in 11th and Boss in 12th, or 13th, and Axe in 15th. Even though Axe is come out of the pit lane, he is currently going down the back stretch, slightly getting out of people's way.
Looks like Ferrari and Boscocchi more specifically has fueled for one more run. Well, to see what Ron Swanson, is he going strong? Looks like he is. The fuel light is blinking, but is he still at max pace? Yes, he is. Going down to the turn 11. Look how down 3, now 4 gears. Down to the turn 12.
Gonna be close.
Down to turn 13. It's gonna be close indeed. He needs about 3/10.
Problem he has is he's run out of battery, being the fact that he's doing 2 laps. So we'll see if that causes an issue for him if he comes to complete his second, most likely final lap of his attempt.
Bottom 5, he stays bottom 5.
Yeah.
Improves, but not enough. Kieran Evans is out of qualifying as well. He's retired in the pit lane. Now it's going to be down to Crispy, to Axe, and to Boscocchi. Cookie's on a flyer right now as the timetables are starting to click down. 25 seconds remaining in qualifying 2. DXD Ishigo's pitted. He's out of qualifying and will no longer take any more part. Port's up to P2, 2/10 adrift. DXD right now looks like he should be safe and make it into qualifying 3 for the Mercedes team. He's now down to P6 as Bailey goes up to P5. Miniko's on a flying lap. He'll cross the line in a couple seconds time. I believe he's actually invalidated. Let's see. Cookie's up to P4. That drops DXD down to 7th. It may be close for him.
Crispy's on the back stretch. Being the fact that he hasn't run out of time, we don't know what is going to be interesting. So far, it doesn't look like he has any problems. As
Phantom will no longer continue to qualify.
No,
He's
he
out
won't.
in P11.
Hey, one guy that needs to probably get out of this bottom area, this bubble area, is Taylor. I believe it's one of the McLarens finishing their lap now. And we'll see who that is. Coming through the front stretch.
It's Taylor.
It is Taylor.
He's on the softs. He's P10 right now. He's on the cutoff line. He's out of the cutoff line. He's 5/10 adrift in 5th.
You were saying DXD was... he should be safe, but we'll see as Crispy comes to complete his attempt. Still all good, no invalidation, and only
P11.
Wow.
Crispy's out of qualifying, and unless Ron Swanson can do something, no, he cannot. He's out of qualifying
Yep,
as well,
out.
and that'll do it. DXD barely makes it in, 5/10 adrift. It's not necessarily barely, but he has one. He's that last position, the top 10. Axe of One's out of qualifying. Kieran Evans out of qualifying. Ron Swanson out of qualifying. Miniko goes provisional pole by about 1/10.5 or so. And Phantom and Crispy will join the bottom 5 as well. And that means the top 10 shootout is beginning shortly with DXD Ishigo, Luciano, Bailey, Taylor Clan, Boscocchi, Spy Raptor, MooMoo, UnsightedPort, and both Red Bulls of Miniko and Zachthebeast once again topping the sessions, unless Bailey can say anything about it, which is invalidated, so no, he cannot.
There's no reason for him to go again. You know, I will say, when I was, with Renault last year and Alpha this year, Q2 is different when you're on those 2 teams, and then when you're with Red Bull, it's not as, let's just say, stressed. The Red Bull has the pace where you can make most likely both compounds work, which, I mean, you remember this. If you have Renault and the medium compound, it was kind of iffy, so that was an interesting dynamic I had to learn.
Well, an interesting dynamic indeed. Remember, like I said at the beginning of the session, it may be the top 10 using the C4s, since the rain could possibly come in. 91% chance of rain. I guess I was right. Miniko leads Zachthebeast. Red Bull 1-2 once again, this time in qualifying 2 ahead of Port in the McLaren and MooMoo in the Ferrari. Those 2, the championship rivals right now. That's actually the top 4 is the top 4 in the championship. Not in that order, though. MooMoo leads Port, who leads Zach, who leads Miniko. Kind of the inverted order. Supply Raptor P5, Cookie P6, Taylor P7, Bailey and Luciano and DXD Ishigo rounds out the top 10 with Crispy. We have Phantom. We have Ron Swanson and Kieran Evans, along with Axe F1 out of the bottom 5 and out of qualifying 2.
I guess we're in the Lobby's still loading.
Yes, looks like we may have a little bit of a lobby issue.
Oh, well, we kind of had that at Monaco. I remember Q2 going to Q3 took some time. Which, when are we supposed to get Jetta? Is that supposed to be this week or next week?
I'm not actually sure, so I don't know.
I'm interested in driving that track. I always like new tracks, and so far for F1 2021, they've added the 2 new tracks that they've added, Imola and Portugal. I think, in my opinion, they're the 2 best tracks in this game.
Yeah, they've done a really good job so far, and hopefully that third and final track, which we're gonna get, will be a stonker of a race. We'll have to figure it out, and whenever we get that Grand Prix on the schedule, it'll be towards the later ends of the season. But one thing to look out for, Imola being the season finale, that'll be fun as well.
It would be fun, because I know we get Jeddah, but I mean, I'm just gonna say until it ever happens, we can't get Turkey. Pain.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which they found out was Vietnam in next year's schedule.
I don't think so. I think they actually just tore it down.
Is that, I saw a YouTube video like and in Vietnam. I was like, wait, really already? Well, and I remember Valencia, how quickly that track turned into absolute. It looked like a ghost town and a jungle in like 2 years. Which,
Well, looks like we're still here, by the way, which is difficult.
well, we get both Red Bulls, both McLarens, both Ferraris, both Mercedes, and we get an Alfa and an Aston Martin. So looks like 6 Honda or 6 Mercedes powered engines, and then, or hang on, my math is wrong. It'd be 3 Honda powered engines, and we get 2 Ferrari powered engines and 5 Mercedes powered engines.
The battle of the engine. It looks like I think the nod goes to Mercedes, doesn't it?
Not for overall, I would say yes, but look who's...
Well, the top 10, yeah.
But the top 2 are the Hondas, so...
That is true.
And it's kind of hard to... I mean, Honda only has 2 teams with Red Bull and AlphaTauri, and they're both not equal when it comes to performance, so... We'll see, but one thing that the rain does do is it takes away that sort of advantage, engine-dependent advantage away. Makes it to where it's more car-dependent, downforce-dependent, and also driver-dependent, which is why I really love the rain races. It kind of, you get the cream of the crop that shows up.
Yeah, it's see, I'm trying to figure out what exactly we're going to do lobby-wise.
Hopefully we don't have to do a lobby reset. If anything, I will, if you need it. So that way we can know later, that way we'll take a photo of the top 10. And usually we don't have this sort of problem.
No, I'm trying to figure this one out.
Did you have this last week?
No, lobby restart. Alright. Alright, give us a quick little break. We'll kind of get some technical difficulties sorted out, and we'll try to get you back to action as quick as possible. My apologies. Oh, we can't. We have to restart a game, yeah.
Interesting. Well, we can just lie and say that, well, Boss Cookie's left. I guess he found a way to leave. So we
Yeah,
can
just
just,
restart your game.
even though we have a there's nothing for short qualifying, or are we just jumping into the race, or what?
Yes, we are using qualifying 2 results.
So, no Q3.
No Q3. So, meaning your pole, I guess your top 15 at least for qualifying in the French Grand Prix will be Miniko on pole once again. Zachthebeast behind him in P2. UnsightedPort P3. MooMoo P4. Supply Raptor P5. Bosco P6. Taylor Clan will start from P7. Bailey from P8. Luciano P9. DXD will start P10. Crispy P11. Phantom 12th. 13th will be Ron Swanson. 14th will be Kieran Evans. 15th will be AXF1. 16th, I believe, will be Ed Tronha. 17th will be... I can't remember. 20th will be the Alpine of Fern. I'm sorry, he'll be the Williams this time, as the Alpine will go back to DRC Jared. DRC Jared will start 19th. His teammate Fernet will start 18th. And that would leave, I believe, the... who am I missing? I'm missing one person. Oh, Tweaking 17th.
Yep. I have a question. Okay, so the final corner or the final 2 corners where there's no pavement and paint stripes, is that like that in real life?
I think it is like that.
I thought that was just a glitch. Or do they put...
that is actually...
Is that like... Do
they may have sponsorship there.
That's what I was about to ask. They had that CGI sponsorship, Rolex or whatever.
Probably, to be fair. They may have that there.
I remember when Heineken had all that. They put the CGI stars at Canada. Remember that?
Well, to those who are still tuning in, welcome, and thank you for sticking on. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll get this race started in about a few moments' time. We're waiting on one driver to come in. We'll have Wraith in the Alfa Romeo. And, well... Ritzy, that's glad you mentioned it. We'll have a recap. Qualifying line, we had a couple drivers out, and qualifying run, nothing chaotic happened, with 16th being Ed Tronha, 17th being I Am Tweaking, 18th being Ferrari Nut in the Alpine, 19th being DRC Jared, who was in the Williams at the time. He's back in the Alfa Romeo, I'm sorry, in the Alpine this time, sorry. And for your P in the Williams starting P20. In qualifying 2, we had a mixed bag of drivers trying to go for different tires, with qualifying 2 mostly predominantly in the first runs being the medium compacted tires. Well, after drivers switched to the softs, it was the bottom 5 being eliminated. Crispy in the Alfa Tauri, Phantom in the Aston Martin, Ron Swanson in the Alfa Romeo, Kieran Evans in the Williams, and AXF1 not setting a time starting from 15th. Well, then we loading in to qualifying 3. We had to have a lobby restart, meaning we'll have all this happening again. We'll have, looks like, what exactly happened here? Okay, we are not waiting for Wraith.
Oh, well.
So, yeah. 19 drivers.
One thing that this does change is, you remember when I said set up because I parked for May for Q1?
That's true.
That gets changed now, so you can change your setup. So this does kind of throw a unique kind of, what do you call, I know the word, but I'm struggling because my brain's fading. Loophole, there you go.
Well, I guess now is a good time to do it while we're waiting on. From the calm waters of the St. Lawrence River to the vibrant colors of the circuit here in Le Castellet, welcome along to the rural countryside for round 8 of the Breakout Racing League Grand Prix, and here at France for the French Grand Prix. And, well, once again, race will be wet. It is going to be a wet start and fading into a dry race. We go on. It's going to be fun to watch and fun to commentate over. Let's talk about French Grand Prix. Port Ricard was built in 1969 and over the course of 50 years has hosted 22 French Grand Prix. It has 15 corners, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, which makes up the 5.842 kilometer, 3.63 mile distance of the circuit. There are 2 DRS zones. Well, unfortunately now, since it's raining, it will not be activated until the DRS is enabled whenever the FIA determined the rain is not going to be a hazard. Well, one on the run to turn 1 and the other on turn 8 in the Mistral chicane. Once again, that will not be activated until the rain persists. Well, just like any other circuit, though, the tire strategy is going to be a necessity with C4, C3, and C2 compounded tire. Well, the driver is going to be using predominantly the intermediates or full wets. Let's look at the race director, and it's going to be a full wet start indeed. So everyone in the entire 19 drivers on the grid, we should have had 20, but unfortunately we could not get a replacement in for Ed Tronha in the Alfa Romeo, who unfortunately I believe is not here at the moment. So we will now have some fun. The 19 drivers hopefully getting their setups, their strategies, and everything going on. Well, let's see how these drivers react to this wet start. I believe this is the first wet start this season. I could be wrong.
I believe you would be right. I think we've not had one. And the conditions are absolutely ugly. It is not just kind of raining. It looks like it is pouring. It is pouring.
Yes, it is pouring indeed, and it's going to be something these drivers have to watch out for. The predicted pit stop strategy, well, we know it's going to dry out, but how fast will it dry out? The moment it's on the full wets, well, how fast will we see the intermediate tires, and how far into the race will we see the softs come in? Well, that's going to be one thing to look out for. You see the drivers right now, all these wet compounded tires, and it's going to be a race to remember. Remember the first full wet start, I believe, this season in the realistic tier. It's going to be some fun, and we've had some requests to explain the realistic tier. Well, the realistic tier is it's a realistic performance tier, meaning all the drivers and all the cars are, I guess, skewed to what they are in real life. Well, the drivers are signed by managers. Each manager has 2 seats in the car, unless you are a Red Bull driver or a Mercedes Academy, because they have technically 4 seats. The Red Bull manager manages Red Bull and AlphaTauri, with the Mercedes manager managing Mercedes and Williams, and the Ferrari manager managing Ferrari and Alfa Romeo, with everyone else having their own single manager with Aston Martin, with McLaren, with Haas, and with Alpine. Well, the drivers, the managers can sign anyone they would like for the tire within a certain specific budget that we have to meet per race. If they exceed that budget, they will be disqualified, and the penalties will go their way for the teams. Well, it looks like everyone else is ready, and looks like the drivers are ready, the teams are ready. We're ready. Let's hope you guys are ready now. So if you're tuning into the Breakout Racing League for the first time, we do this every single week, and it's going to be one fun thing to watch. So if you can tune in more, that'll be absolutely great. We have racing on most of the week from Wednesday to Sunday. Wednesday being F2, Thursday obviously being Realistic, Friday being Tier 3 and Tier 4, Saturday being Tier 2 and Tier 1, and Sunday being Assetto Corsa Competizione. There we go, got it more specifically there. Miniko, remember from pole, he won his home track in Canada. Well, his teammate started behind him there. He finished behind him there. He started down in 15th a week ago. He's now starting P2. UnsightedPort 3rd. MooMoo 4th. Supply Raptor in the Mercedes reserving for Deer Hunter 5th. Boss Cookie, he's 6th. Taylor Clan 7th. Bailey 8th. Luciano 9th. DXC Ishigo in 10th. He's reserving for John. Crispy 11th. Phantom 12th. Ron Swanson 13th. Kieran Evans 14th. Axif1 15th. I Am Tweaking starts 16th. He promoted up a place. Ferrari Nut 17th. URC Jared 18th. Fern in 19th. And the Alfa Romeo will not start. So we have 19 drivers on the grid. 27 laps. 15 corners, and it's going to be a wet start. So how long will these drivers have in on these full wet tires before it all transitions over? It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be fun. It's going to be wet. But for how long? The drivers are ready. We're ready. It's the French Grand Prix. and it's lights out, and away we go. A good initial start from the Red Bull, but an atrocious one. Actually, it's a decent start so far from UnsightedPort. It's a great start. Look at the MooMoo down the inside for the Red Bull of Zachthebeast. He's going to go for the move. Contact already. Off the track they go, and Zachthebeast has to go to the escape road. So now it's going to be Miniko, UnsightedPort. MooMoo ahead of Zachthebeast. Zachthebeast has to cut the course. He's now going up to third. He's now dropped out to fourth, having a couple of positions. Look at the move inside. MooMoo for Raptor. Raptor on the outside. The Mercedes makes go. He's going to go for third. Looks like MooMoo's going to be, I'm sorry, that's not MooMoo. That's Boss Cookie in fourth. Crispy's up to sixth. A great start already. Luciano up to seventh. Taylor Clem dropped down a couple positions. Zachthebeast down to ninth already. Around the outside, it's going to be Crispy on Luciano. And Luciano's going to keep that position. So Miniko ahead of Port. MooMoo, Supply Raptor. Cookie, Luciano, Crispy, Taylor, Zachthebeast, and Bailey. And we have actually a off. And that's a driver off and completely off. That's going to be Fern.
Fern looks like he doesn't have visible damage, but he is going around. Ron and Phantom also had issues at the start, but I can't tell if they have any damage or not. We'll see. But battle up front, Unsighted with a brilliant start. Same with Crispy, jumping from P11 to P7. Luke, and so Lucano as well, and Luciano in P6.
A lot of drivers have up positions. One from Cookie, Raptor, moving in Port. Miniko stayed exactly where he was. Zachthebeast had an atrocious start, down 7 positions from the start. In P2, he was off track with the comment and a little bit of a collision, I believe, from the Ferrari of MooMoo. He's up into third from fourth.
It looked like, you know, Zach did not get the best of start compared to his teammate. It wasn't a bad start compared to what we've seen earlier in the year, and looked like him and MooMoo were having a disagreement and got Zach shoved wide, but Zach avoided, took the escape road, and didn't get a penalty out of it. So, damage limitations, it's still early. The problem is he has no DRS to help him overtake, so it's going to be tricky for that Red Bull to make inroad back up front.
Well, right now, the gap between first and second is 9/10 of a second. Well, that's around the same gap as MooMoo. Actually, the gap is now up to its second for a brief, abrupt moment of time. Let's go look right now at the gaps between the drivers. And let's go scroll through the field. The closest gap looks like the Dixie Ishigo has actually gotten past Zachthebeast, by the way. Battle for 11th and 10th there. Let's see exactly what this is going to work on. Remember, Frynut and Phantom actually battling it out down for 15th. The Alpine ahead of the Aston Martin.
It looks like Unsighted is gaining a little bit of time on Miniko. Be interesting, the projection of this race initially was going to be a wet start and drying out. Be interesting if that's going to be the case with it being a lobby reset.
Actually, that's another thing to point out. There could be a chance some drivers may have forgotten to put a setup in, or not the correct setup. So we could have a little bit of, I guess, disproportion of where it was compared to qualifying. We'll have to see. By the way, Jared up a couple positions already. He started down, and I believe 17th place. He's now up to 12th, up 5 positions from the start. Axif 1 has gone up a couple positions. Tweaking has gone down a few from what will be 16th down to 18th. He's dropped 2 positions to be exact. So,
and
looks like Miniko has gained a little bit of time. He's actually gained not a lot of time.
No, he made 2 little bit of mistakes. Had 2 small tank slappers, look like, on the exits, and that's allowed Unsighted to be now a half a second behind Miniko. So looks like the Red Bull's a little bit twitchy compared to the McLaren at the moment.
Well, right now, I think it's just going to be a waiting game, trying to feed and, I guess, fill out the track and see exactly where you can push, where the grip is, where the conditions are, I guess, less, pouring down, more favorable towards the tires. Who has the better grip? Who has least amount of grip? You saw a least amount of grip from MooMoo there.
Oh,
actually sliding around through 5 and 6. Here comes Raptor. He looked for it. He had to check up. Don't look now. Here comes the Ferrari of Boss Cookie. He's going to go for this move. He has the chance. Raptor looking to the inside. He's going to go to the inside now. Cookie. Will Raptor look for this move? He's boxed in on MooMoo. Now Cookie's going to the inside. A little bit of contact between MooMoo and Raptor. Raptor's going to go around the outside. It's Cookie. Look at him go. The Ferrari. It's a 2 Ferrari against 1. And penalty, by the way, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions. Actually going off the track, yellow flag. Looks like that is Fern again.
Yes, it is Fern. Unknown what happened.
Look now, Raptor is not. He's not staying behind though.
Unfortunate for Boss to get the penalty, but we'll see how this race plays out to see if more penalties happen, but that could hamper his race right now. If you look how tight this field is, don't want to have many of those stacking up.
Well, it is very tight indeed, especially after the Ferrari of MooMoo. We have Raptor, we have Cookie, we have Luciano, Crispy, Taylor, Bailey. Oh, going deep into 15 is MooMoo, Crispy, and Raptor, I'm sorry, looking for the move, going through. And that's going to be the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Miniko, 44.9. By the way, he's actually not gained an incredible amount of time on UnsightedPort, but he's gained a significant amount of time on MooMoo in third. 3-second time penalty for PSR Fern. He is through track extensions and, I guess, multiple warnings, track extensions. Yellow flagged VSC.
Ooh, VSC. Trying to look to see who's off the pace here. Other than Fern, I don't understand why we're under a VSC. And
stays out. I don't see any damage.
No, I don't.
Like it may have not been damage. It may have just been either a safety car for weather, or a virtual safety car for weather, to be rather, or does something happen that we are not aware about?
No, I didn't notice anyone really losing positions.
Well, speaking of positions, I don't think you're allowed to overtake under virtual safety car conditions. What's going on between DXD and Zachthebeast here? Has DXD lost time?
Well, the VSC did end, and we'll see what happens if that requires a steward. And Greece as Lucano is
Luciano's
done.
out. Exit of turn 9 into the barriers. Is that going to be a safety car? Meanwhile, Taylor and Crispy side by side into 11 are on the outside. The Alpha Tower he goes. He's going to look for the Mount Gripper on the outside. Taylor sounds it down the inside again. He's going to run around the outside. The Alpha Tower
wow.
through 12 into 13. He's going to make that work, but don't look now. Here comes Bailey down the inside. He'll back out of it, and the McLaren will have to fight for another day in 7th, now losing the position to Crispy.
Taylor had his hands absolutely full, and he almost lost it. He's going to probably try to catch his breath and get the heart rate down. That was a nice save. But he does have Bailey now all over him.
Battle for 10th. Jared gets past DXD. Should go now into the points. The Alpine, he's only scored in the points one time this season after his win at Monaco. Well, that's the only one he's been through. So let's see how he can do so far. Up in the top 10 early. Looks like the Alpine is very favoring the wet. He's actually going off the most positions, up 7, down from 17th.
Yeah, he's had a very good start. His teammate, Ferrari Nuts, still back down to 15th. But yeah, as you mentioned with Jared, +8 into the points. And just got a lot of laps. Of course, he's, I guess, still battling DXD as that now changes. So, DXD, has he had a moment? He's lost 2 positions. He lost it to Jared. Now Axe has gone by, and trying to see if he has an issue. He's lost a lot of time. He lost about 4 seconds.
So look now, Raptor is still hounding the back of the Ferrari here down in the turn 10, and that's a virtual safety car again.
Interesting. I don't see anything of what would suggest a VSC. I wonder if someone has a moment and is slow on the track, if that's what's triggering it, because Fern had this issue, and then about 30 seconds later, we had a safety car, and then the only thing I noticed was DXD having an issue, and then a VSC comes out. So, interesting. No one's pitted, by the way, I've noticed, so far in this race. I know it's only lap 5, but no one's had to pit because of damage. So that's actually promising.
I'm honestly thinking that it may be true. We've had a couple guys in the comments saying the VSCs may be for weather. I think I'm starting to agree with it.
Stall pain intensifies.
Oh no, Taylor drive-through, speeding under the virtual safety car. He tried to time it. It didn't work.
Did not work.
Raptors all over the place. Cookies all over the place. We're all sliding.
I tell you, one annoying message I always say in the VSE or even under the safety car is watch the delta, and it might be an annoying message, but I'd rather be annoying than what Taylor's going to have to deal with, which is a drive-through, and that's really going to hurt his race. he's going to need, most likely, a safety car in order to get these spots back.
Oh! Phantom off circuit. I was looking for a move because he was going for a move, and he has gone completely off circuit, had to cut the course. 3-second time penalty now going to be applied to his race time. Ferrari-Nut's not going to be looking for an incentive on the Aston Martin. It looks like he was trying to get past, I believe, the Williams of Kieran Evans.
Meanwhile, up front, Miniko, about a 3-second lead, then 4.5 to MooMoo, and then you have a little scrap here behind MooMoo. You have Supply and Boss. Then behind Boss, you have Crispy, about 2.5, 2.6 back, and then 3 other cars right there. Taylor has to serve the drive-through. Then you have Bailey and Zach. Then 3 seconds down to Jared. So be interested to see how much time Taylor loses. He might be in 17th after this is all said and done.
It's possible. And, well, his race is going to be completely flipped upside down. Taylor Clan actually does come into pit now, so we'll see how that works out. DXD Shigo has a little bit of a train forming, which behind him, Kieran Evans in the Williams, BRL Phantom in the Aston Martin, 2 of the 3 other Mercedes-powered cars. But look now, Ferrari-Nut's looking for a move. He's wanting to move now. He has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions. He's getting impatient in the Alpine, down in 15th position right now. But look at Kieran Evans on the exit of 15. He had a little bit of a better exit. Right now trying to break the slipstream. You see the Aston Martin and the Alpine behind him. They actually get ahead of Taylor, barely though.
What this does promote, it has promoted Jared to P9 and Axe to P10, and I don't know what has happened to DXD the last handful of laps. He was basically near Zach, right? Or with Jared, and since then he's lost 10 seconds. Actually more than that, about 11 seconds, and he has been just given a penalty.
He is struggling.
That or he has damage that we can't tell, but he has been certainly off the pace.
Phantom grabs a penalty as well. DXD ran wide. Here comes Kieran, though. He's going to try for the move. He tried looking into 5. Backs out of it, not close enough this time. Oh, look at Ferrari now down the inside of Phantom. Almost thought about it. It looks like contact may have been made. A lot of battles looking on. You see, by the way, here comes Phantom on Kieran Evans. He's looking for this move. This corner's flat in qualifying, not flat in the race. But look at Taylor and Ferrari-Nut. Taylor down the inside of 10. He's now down the inside of 11. That'll put him up into 14th. Don't look now. Ron Swanson's looking at a move. He's not too far. He's not too close enough this time.
I tell you right now, Axe's best thing that Axe has right now is DXD behind him. DXD is giving him 6 seconds of a gap. That could be crucial for later, as it looks like DXD is actually pitting now. He'll be the first one to pit. And
Is it a new wing? Is it new tires? What is it going to be for the Mercedes driver?
If he's going to pit for a new set of tires, it's going to have to be
wing
wets.
change.
Oh, that would explain
And intermediates.
That. Oh. Well, why not? You're already 17th. You got nothing to lose. Maybe the conditions are going to lighten up in some time in the very future, as Phantom's trying to get by Kieran. Now he's got Taylor all at the back of him.
Who can get the better exit through 5 and 6 and into 7? That's going to be playing cards. All 3 of these cars are powered by Mercedes, with the Alpine behind him powered by the Renault engine. Who has the better exit? Is Phantom going to look for this move? Is he too far back? He's looking for this move. He's going up to the back of the Williams. Is he going to be too close enough, though? Is he going to be looking for this move? Look at Taylor, though. He'll go for this move. He has to get the going. And he's going to go down the inside, around the outside of 9. Kieran Evans a little bit squirrely on the exit. Same with Taylor. Same with Phantom. Contact between the 2. Don't look now. Here comes Ferrari-Nut. Looks like Taylor may have the nod.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Into 10.
Very good race between Phantom and Taylor. Both side by side. Both gave each other just enough room to make that work.
Oh, Taylor's going for this move on Kieran Evans down the inside of 12.
Wow.
He'll get that move stuck too. But don't look now. Here comes Ferrari-Nut on Phantom. Not enough space.
No, and that was probably not going to be a spot to overtake anyways. And now we'll see. Taylor is 7 seconds behind Axe. We'll see if he can be able to charge on and close that gap down and get back into the points. He has the car in dry that is quicker than the Haas, but this is the wet, so that advantage is kind of sort of diminished, but we'll see.
Phantom had a big moment exiting 15. That'll put Ferrari Nut back ahead of him, actually ahead of him for the first time, by the way. Fern also pitted for the intermediate tires, and the Williams down on 18th. We'll see how those two drivers get on with those intermediate green-wooled tires. Not a lot of moves going on, but Raptor has closed in significantly on the battle between him and Moo. Exiting the Mulsanne, looks like, or I'm sorry, the Mistral Straight and the Mistral Chicane. Looks like he lost all of that. I guess all that momentum going his way. The exit of the Mistral Chicane there. Ferrari Nut, though, is looking for a move, though, on Kieran Evans. Is he going to be close enough on the Williams driver? We saw Taylor make a huge lunge on the inside. He's still on the button. He'll go to the left-hand side. Kieran Evans later on the brakes. He's going to make the corner, though. Yes, he will. The Williams will stay so far ahead of him in 12th.
Looking at DXD's times on the intermediate, he is losing time to the leader. So clearly this is...
Here comes Ferrari Nut. Sorry to cut you off. They're going side by side through 10. That's risky in the dry, much less in the wet. They made it hold on. Into 11. Ferrari Nut won't get the nod.
Yeah, these guys are really going at it. We've only had one retirement so far, which was Lucano earlier in the race, what, 5 laps ago?
It was a risky move, but it was one I believe Ferrari Nut thought he had to make. And, well, he made it work, and up to 12th now. He now can go chase after, Taylor Clayton, who's actually about 3.5 seconds up the road. Zachthebeast grabs a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions. How much will that play a factor in his race? We have about a couple drivers in the top 10 with penalties, those being Bosky and Zachthebeast. Ferrari Nut and Phantom, Tweaking, DXD, Ishigo, and Fern are the other drivers with penalties. Let's go take a look at those now.
Yeah,
3 seconds for...
Yeah, everyone's got a 3-second except Phantom. Phantom has a 6, DXD has a 6, and Fern has a 9. Fern just picked that up, and so did DXD. They just picked up theirs. Well, on cue. Boss just got a 6, and this is going to be...
Yellow flag.
Oh, that...
Fern's around. No front wing.
That looks like it's Fern. He was one of those guys on intermediate tires.
Safety car, by the way.
Oh. Well...
Full safety car.
This changes a lot of things. This will open up for pit stops to happen. The question is, does everyone stay out? Do they pit for new wets? Does some gamble for intermediates? DXD didn't seem to gain any time on the Red Bull of Miniko. The Delta stayed...
He's in, by the way.
They are in.
So was Fern. Or, I'm sorry, not Fern. Port. Fern stays out, by the way. 5-second time penalty. Collision with Supply Raptor.
Wow.
Cookie has a 5-second going his way. Crispy looks like he's going to stay out. Bailey, Zachthebeast are in. Crispy does stay out. Jared comes in. What will Axe do in the Haas?
Well, the
intermediate tires.
Well, Miniko and Unsighted intermediates. Seems like everyone's doing intermediates as Ferrari's doing a double stack. Boss had to wait for and yeah, it looks like everyone's going to go to Inter, so this is going to be interesting. I guess the rain is going to start to let up. I guess
everyone's in.
Yeah. So
Phantom 5-second time penalty collision with Kieran Evans.
The unfortunate part of that is you can get that removed, but that will be on pit lane and serve that 5. So that's going to be unfortunate. What this does do, this does bring the race back in for guys like DXD. Who had his issues early, but this kind of changes it, puts everyone back on an even level here, excluding the penalties. So the question is, has he screwed himself here?
We'll have to see. Is the track dry enough for intermediate tires? Looks like the rain is definitely, I guess, fell off a bit from the beginning of the race. Let's see on the screen, it's not as heavy as it was.
No, and it don't there's some still puddles out on the track, but it doesn't look as bad as it was at the start. So, we'll see. I don't know if this is a smart move of Crispy. I mean, he's the lone outlier there. Everyone's on intermediates but him, so we'll see.
Well, Fern just went on the wets, by the way. I actually want to give a quick little shout-out to Fern. That was the smartest play I've actually seen. He had lost his front wing. Remember, that's what caused the safety car. Instead of pitting and replacing it, he stayed out an extra lap to avoid getting lapped down, as you cannot unlap yourself, and Crispy does go in.
And he's going to lose a lot of time. He's going to be out of the points for sure.
He'll be behind Tweaking.
Yeah. I mean, let's see what tire he goes on intermediates as well. So we'll see with Fern here. Maybe Fern's got nothing to lose, and who knows? Maybe this could be. Maybe the track isn't at the crossover for inters and still for ideal for wets.
Well, he comes out P11, so he actually does jump ahead of a lot of guys in that backpack. Ferrari Nut fan, I'm Kieran Evans, Ron Swanson, and I'm Tweaking. So, with now this being said, this changes some things to an extent. Bailey and Moo are apparently going at it. Not exactly sure what's going on up here. Whoa, Moo almost losing it, trying to get past Bailey in the AlphaTauri.
Well, not supposed to pass under safety car.
I'm not exactly sure. Apparently Bailey got past Moo and Moo was now grabbing the position back. Bailey letting him by. Moo almost losing the car and into Bailey through turn 6. So, like I said, this will be kind of a, like you said earlier, it's going to be kind of a, I guess, resetting it. But I'm thinking now, this may just be a glorified second start of the race.
I would think
you'd be right. Yeah, it's going to be like, it's just as comparable, I guess, as we started behind the safety car. So, we'll try again. Miniko from Port, from Moo, from Bailey, Zachthebeast up into 5th. Spy Raptor, DRC Jared, Boss Cookie, Axe, and Taylor, your top 10, with Boss Cookie and Zachthebeast having time penalties. Crispy in 11th. From Ferrari Nut Fan, I'm Kieran Evans, Ron Swanson, I am Tweaking, DXC Ishigo, and PSR Fern, who's in again, probably getting off those wet compounded tires and getting on the intermediate tires. And we've lost Luciano in the opening stages of the Grand Prix and is out of the Grand Prix, and we did not have an Alfa Romeo start.
No, we did not. And looking at positions from the start, Jared's up plus 11 from his start. Quite the drive so far from him. And Axe is up plus 6. He's at 9th. And if you look at guys that have not had an ideal start, well, Zach's down 3, but to be P5 compared to where he was, that's been a nice recovery. Ichigo down 7. He's had his struggles. What this race does do is, for a guy like Taylor, he had the drive-through for speeding under VSC. Like we said earlier, this safety car kind of resets the race for him.
Well, it's going to be close if Fern can even get there, because I believe they're going to be forcing to go in this time by. So if Fern can get there, he'll be all good. But if not, he'll have to start away from the safety car queue, meaning there will be only 17 drivers behind the safety car, meaning there could be a lot more drama heading our way. We saw a lot of dives. We saw a lot of aggression already, and it's only been about 12 laps. We're on lap 13 of the French Grand Prix for round 8 of the BRL Realistic tier. We'll see how this plays out for the remaining 15 laps to go. Will it get dry quick enough? Will we see the soft compounded tires, or will we see the medium or the hard compounded tires? How long will the intermediates last? How long will the track stay as wet enough to keep these intermediates from having to go, and a lot of these drivers, from having to go into puddles and try to cool them down? Well, it's going to be a lot of things to look out for.
I think with the conditions the way they are, hards would not be the correct tire to be on, because they won't obtain heat in this. You're most likely going to see the mediums and soft compound. It's just a question of how long is that if it does dry out, when that crossover period is. If it's within 8 to go, I can probably see people doing softs. It would probably be the more ideal compound to be on. It's just a question of who's going to be the first one to gamble. No one likes to be that first guy because you can either look like a hero or a zero.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. Now we're having the Q being led by Miniko and the Red Bull. And the safety car will go into the nature of the pit lane in a short moment of time. Now it's clear. Miniko can go when he wants at his discretion anytime between now and the start-finish lines. When will the Red Bull go? Will he go now? Looks like he'll still wait. Back the field up a little bit. He's gone. MooMoo, a great start, but look at Bailey to the left-hand side of the Ferrari on MooMoo. He'll go for this move. UnsightedPort blocks him off. MooMoo around the outside of turn 1. He'll actually get that position back again. UnsightedPort, MooMoo make contact. UnsightedPort goes wide. Bailey gets them both.
So we have now a unique Red Bull 1-2. Bailey says thank you.
Still fighting at it. Zachthebeast is going for it too. DXT pass. I am tweaking. Battle for 15th. And now it looks like they're going to go turn it off. It looks like Port blocked off Bailey. Then went a limit too deep into turn 2. Running wide. MooMoo now is going to be under pressure from the McLaren. But don't look down. Zachthebeast is now going to be under pressure as well. And the guys behind him. Ferrari not 3-second time penalty. Here comes UnsightedPort. He'll go to the left-hand side on the curve on the straightaway. Down the inside of turn 8. The McLaren, the Ferrari, wheel-to-wheel contact being made almost slightly. Still more contact. Around the outside of 9. UnsightedPort will make the move stick. DXT pass Ron. Battle for 14th. The Mercedes makes the moves. Looks the intermediates a lot better tire for him.
I thought Zach was going to take advantage of both MooMoo and Unsighted having their little wheel banging. Now they start to settle down. As the one that really benefited from that was Bailey, now up to P2. Looking down the rest of the order.
Oh, look at Zachthebeast. Almost looking for that move. Sorry to cut you off.
Well, Zach is, one would think he's got the better car than the 2 ahead, and what he has that once around is that 3-second time penalty, so he's going to want to get on the pace and try to open up a gap towards his rivals to secure whatever position he can get. And
by the way,
it's
DXT up another position. 13th this time.
Have you noticed the screen?
Oh, what has happened? It's completely dry.
It is bone dry.
Yellow flag. It looks like there's a driver off. Oh, accident. Ferrari not out of the Grand Prix.
Oh, wow.
Exit of turn 2.
Be interesting to see what happened there. I have to assume everyone is pitting.
Everyone will.
I mean, you talk about a glitch and a half. I thought for a second my game was messing up. It went from being overcast, all of a sudden the sun is out.
Fern may gain a huge amount of time here, by the way.
Is he the first? He is the first one.
On the mediums. So he'll run the 13 laps.
Well, drivers are free to choose whatever compound they need. With it being a wet start, there is no tire compound rules drivers have to adhere to. Here's the question, though. With it being bone dry right now, these inters are very, very hot. And the last thing you want to do is spin because of it.
Look at this. Crispy and Cookie battle for 9th. Taylor got past Cookie. Now Cookie's now been overtaken by the AlphaTauri. As everyone goes into the pits, Jared... Look at this battle into the pit lane.
Oh. I was worried that they're going to cause some contact and get a 5. That was close.
That was close indeed.
The one that's going to get screwed.
This is going to hurt.
That's
Zachthebeast.
It hurt him a little bit, but not a lot. He lost a little bit of time. It's really going to hurt Boss Cookie.
He's been held forever.
Oh, yeah, he has.
He's the last one out, I think. DRS has been enabled.
Well, this changes everything, and Fern is going to make up a lot of time, but not enough to gain a spot. He's still in Sector 3, but what this does do is gives Miniko still has the lead. With 1.4 behind is Bailey as Zach runs wide.
Oh! Zach's off the track, went for a move against Ron Swanson. Looks like it did not work. Oh, Taylor's around.
Taylor is around, yes.
And Zach may have some form of damage. He's really off the pace.
Yes, he is. And, wow, just like that, in a span of one lap, his race has just completely unraveled as Crispy gets a 3-second penalty.
Okay, he's gone back going again. Oh, no, he hasn't. What has happened there?
He hasn't retired. Looked like he went straight on. Wonder if he's having the brake issues, the pedal issues that we thought he was having during Q1.
You see him shaking the wheel, trying to figure out what exactly is going on, trying to find a way to recalibrate it almost. Looks like we have a wheel issue from the Red Bull driver, and that'll put him behind Fern down in 16th.
Unfortunately, he's also missing a front wing, as Miniko does the fastest lap, now Unsighted, now Supply.
With this, though, it actually puts Tweaking up to 9th, but he's now going to be under pressure from the Aston Martin of Phantom. Ron Pitts, he may have had a collision with Zachthebeast to the right-hand side, or the left-hand side, I'm sorry. The Aston Martin goes and will easily get up into 9th position.
See if anyone. Taylor stays out, so he didn't, I guess, get any damage by his spin. As interesting. So the big losers of the, as Kieran gets another 3, looks like the Ferraris were the big loser when it came to pitting. They were running, what, near the top 5? Now they're 7th in P13. Oh, well, or that's
yes.
Did Boss Cookie have to serve as 5? I think he had a 5-second to serve, so...
On top of the double stack.
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, after an insane, I guess, sequence of events, Miniko now leads Bailey by 2.9 seconds, 3 seconds now. UnsightedPort 1.5 seconds back from Bailey in the AlphaTauri. Supply Raptor 5/10 behind him, looking for that podium spot. Zachthebeast finally comes in the pit lane. He will now be lapped by his teammate. Actually, it may be close between him and his teammate going the exit into turn 1. Well, looks like he's safely ahead. Miniko the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 32.4. Looks like he's getting his strides into sequence. Tweaking the next closest battle on the track, 9/10 adrift of Phantom in the Aston Martin.
Zach yields to his teammate. Fair play. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to do anything to hold up the sister car of the AlphaTauri of Bailey, who has Unsighted and Supply catching him.
Yellow flag. Looks like Fern may have spun around. Exit of turn 13. 10-second time penalty, exceeding track limits. Zachthebeast. Don't look now. Here we go. Raptor around the outside. He looked for this move a couple of times. He'll make the move stick into 8 and complete it into 9. Don't look now. Here comes Port, though. He'll make the move. He's on the button. He wants this P3 more than anyone. After a couple of poor races from him, Raptor is going to hold on, though.
He needs a good result for McLaren. They've struggled the last couple of races, and that's what's allowed.
Here we go around the outside again. Sorry to cut you off. They're not done yet. Well, eventually you'll get to say something.
Oh, no, I'm kind of wondering why is Zach getting these 10-second penalties for essentially letting people through. I don't understand this game. Supply gets a 3.
Well, by the way, actually, I just now noticed this. With these two having this kind of trouble, and, well, definitely with the assistance of the drag reduction system, the DRS, is that flap in the rear wing of the Mercedes, look how close they are to Bailey now.
Yes, they've slowly reeled in Bailey. I mean, let's be honest here. The Mercedes is a better car over the AlphaTauri. And you could argue the McLaren is a scotch better as well. As Zach comes to pit, I'm going to assume he's going to retire. after his race pretty much unraveled right when it started, right when it looked like it was starting to come back to him.
Bailey breaks the draft on Raptor. Raptor breaks the draft on UnsightedPort. And none of them will make the move down to the turn 8-9. But we'll keep in mind this, the DRS train could be effective in halting Supply Raptor's charge. 3-second time penalty, Moo. Taylor gets past Fan on battle for 9th.
And with Taylor, he had that drive-through earlier, as it looks like, was that Fern? Taylor's sitting in a good position. If he can close the gap a bit, he could probably get P6, but Crispy, I believe, has a 6-second penalty. Let's take a look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. DXT has 9, and then Moo and Crispy both have 3 seconds.
Not close enough again. Raptor tried to look for the move once again on Bailey. You just could not get there. Oh, a significantly better exit. DXT with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 31.8. Crispy, a 3-second side penalty, though.
While all this is happening, Miniko is long gone.
Oh, he is smiling from ear to ear. Yellow flag. Phantom's around. Bailey's breaking the slipstream now. It's not going to be close enough. He's too close this time. Raptor to the right-hand side of the AlphaTauri. He'll kind of try to go around the outside in the 8, but it looks like it may have just been completed already. Yes, it has. That's an easy move for the Mercedes.
Kinda unique because these two are teammates in Tier 1. Now, not teammates here.
See how that plays out. See, Raptor actually kind of slower through turn 10. Bailey have maybe more downforce on the car. Or, well, maybe Raptor lifted. We'll have to figure it out. By the way, Zachthebeast is on intermediates. Now he's pitting off of them.
I noticed that. I wondered if that was a mistake. And
he retires
he's retired. One thing that we noticed with the AlphaTauri, and we saw this at Monaco, the AlphaTauri might not be the greatest car when it comes to straight line speed and engine dependencies, but when it comes to downforce, the car very well is. We saw Bailey get P2 in qualifying and P2 in the race at Monaco. So during the high downforce areas, the AlphaTauri might be able to hold off the likes of the McLarens, but it's going to be the straights where it's going to have struggle.
Jared and Moo battling for 5th. You see the Alpine and the Ferrari. It looks like Jared has the nod over the Ferrari at the moment. The gap keeps coming down. Look at this, though. Bailey doesn't have DRS. Port does. Bailey goes to the left, then goes to the right again, trying to alter and trying to disrupt the breakout. I'm sorry, the slipstream for the McLaren behind him inside of Port. Just is not going to be close enough this time.
Completing the lap 21, how much this pace has changed. Running 1 minute 44 lap time, so all of a sudden, not that far off of qualifying lap times.
Oh, yellow flag. Jared's around.
Oh.
He's off. Turn 8 and 9. He was battling with Boo Boo. Did they make contact?
Don't see any damage on the Alpine.
Battle back up front. Bailey's closed in a little bit on Raptor again. Half a second. But look at this. UnsightedPort down the inside of Bailey on the exit. I'm sorry, the entry of turn 15. And he'll grab it on the exit. Both drivers will get DRS. But that will compromise Port and Bailey's exit. It may put him out of DRS range in the battle for, in the Mistral Straight.
Now we'll see if Unsighted can just... What will he do? Will he go after Supply and try to take P2 on track, or will he just sit there and gain P2 via penalties?
He needs to stay there within a significant amount of margin. Remember, 3-second time penalty is the gap that they need to sustain. For Port and Bailey right now, the gap, let's look at the gap between leaders here. You see 5 seconds, the gap between leader, 5.5 to be more precise. Well, that would mean Bailey needs to be within 8.4 seconds of the leader and 3 seconds of Supply Raptor.
One thing I've noticed, this battle for the last point, Boss Cookie He has Tweaking 7.5 behind him, but Boss has 12 seconds of penalty, so Tweaking's 3. So if Tweaking can stay within 9 seconds, he might get that final point over the Ferrari.
It's going to be close. Ishigo gaining on Crispy. And the Mercedes, he's dropping down a little bit. Remember, DXD did not like those full wet tires. We saw him struggling in the Mercedes, and he had a wing change, to be precise as well. He had a little bit of damage. Well, he got on those intermediate tires and almost looked like he was overtaking a car a lap. Well, now it looks like the pace is alive in the Mercedes car, and for DXD Ishigo trying to go chase after Crispy, which, by the way, now has a 3-second time penalty to his name. That will be a little bit harder.
That's 12 seconds to DXD's name. Nice recovery.
Oh, almost loses the car.
Yes, he does. Nice recovery for Crispy. We saw him during the safety car pit or stay up for wets when everyone pitted for intermediates, and he lost a lot of positions. Well, he's back up to P6, so it's been a nice recovery.
Nice recovery indeed. He wants to grab some points for AlphaTauri, and so does Bailey right now. At the moment, it's looking like 4th and 6th, but DXD Ishigo is closing in. Crispy has some penalties, but DXD Ishigo has a little bit more. But Bailey, oh, Ishigo's around, out of the race.
Would this cause a safety car?
Yes, it does. Full
Well,
safety car.
Who gambles here in pits for softs? I mean, one would assume we will get a safety car restart. One would assume
Tweaking, drive-through penalty, speeding under the safety car.
That is going to basically be game, set, match for the Haas. That's quite unfortunate with...
What happened there? 10-second time penalty for our race leader. 5-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane. That's 15 seconds to his name now. Talk about game, set, match. That may be it.
Wow. This opens up the door. Let's see. Crispy gets a penalty.
Oh, Crispy.
I think they got in trouble by cutting the track coming into the pits, trying to get as much advantage as they can, and they've been bitten by it.
Well, Mumu stays out. Miniko now has 15 seconds. Taylor stays out. Raptor has a 3. Bailey could win this race.
It is right there for him. Yes, it is. Trying to see. We got Mumu stayed out on 8-lap mediums. Same with Taylor, who's P3 on 8-lap mediums. They have Miniko on the soft compound in P2, but he's got the penalties. I think, honestly, if this opens up the door for Taylor and Bailey and Unsighted, they're the only ones without penalties up here.
Well,
what a chain of events.
Yeah, really.
And the thing I've noticed here, Tweaking P11 is going to have to pit with his drive-through. That will promote Ron to P13 with no penalties. And everyone ahead of him has a penalty. So Ron could also get a very good result for the AlphaTauri if he plays this
and
fight.
By the way, this is going to be the it. Safety car has to come in at least by next lap. They get 2 green flag laps in. So Tweaking, with that drive-through, he's basically out. There's no chance unless everyone retires. He's going to be finishing P14 tonight unless something else drastically changes. For the rest of these guys, especially on the softs, they don't have DRS. Fano has a 5-second time penalty collision with Jared. Excuse me.
I just saw that as well. To give a penalty recap, Mumu has 3 seconds in P1. Miniko has 15 seconds in P2. Supply in P4 has 3 seconds. And then Phantom has 20 in 7th. Jared has 3 seconds in 8th. Crispy has 6 seconds. He did get his 5-second removed, pitting. Boston P10 has 12, tweaking with the drive-through. Kieran Evans, 3 seconds. And Fern, 9 seconds. So guys like Phantom, he's unfortunately not likely going to see points, and so is Boss Cookie.
Well, this now changes a lot because safety car will come in this time by. It has to.
Yes.
Going on to lap 26, meaning there will be no DRS. So these guys on the softs have to be physically faster than the guys on the mediums. Taylor has the straight line speed of the McLaren. He has no penalties. If he can keep it on the track, and if he has enough grip, the McLaren could win this race.
Yes.
Raptor, if he gets clear of these guys, he has a 3-second. Could he get that gap gone? He could win this race. Bailey has no time penalties on the fresh softs. Well, he's kind of starting from 5th. He has UnsightedPort for company as well, because he's going to be power hungry as well for the McLaren.
Very.
He wants to grab a win.
I tell you,
It's going to be very close.
Taylor P3, I like his chances. Yeah, he's on 9-lap mediums, but he's only got to suffer 2 laps on these tires. And he's been due for a good result. He's had a quite up and down start to this year at AlphaTauri and now at McLaren, as the safety car does come in this lap.
Well, one thing to note, it will not be a Red Bull 1-2.
Nope.
Another thing to note, that we may not see a Red Bull on the podium at all.
We might not see a Red Bull in the points.
That is also true. Well, safety car is in this time by Moo is now going to be at the discretion of whenever he wants to go. Once the safety car comes into the pit lane, we've lost DXT Ishigo, Zachthebeast, XF1, Ferrari Nut, Luciano. Keep in mind, Tweaking has a drive-through. Miniko has 15 seconds. Phantom has 20. Cookie has about 20. And now Phantom has 25. Collision with Jared again.
Now it has just unraveled for some guys.
And they've gone.
How hard will Miniko fight?
He's going to look for this. He's almost practically pushing the Ferrari down in the turn 1. Remember, Moo used to drive this car. Well, now he's the one trying to fight it off. Oh, Taylor has a penalty now.
Well, this really opens up the door for Bailey.
Raptor down the inside of 5. Into 6. Through 7, he'll grab it. Around the outside. Oh, almost contact. Here comes Bailey. 3 wide down the back straightaway at France. Bailey around the outside. He'll grab the position from Taylor.
Oh.
Bailey now has a 3-second time penalty. This is for the win.
Now this puts Moo in the position to he can win this race, but he's got Bailey all over him now.
UnsightedPort can win this race.
That's true. I just noticed that as well.
Miniko's gone by about 1.5 seconds. Crispy past Phantom. Raptor past Moo. UnsightedPort past Moo. And there goes Moo.
Wow. Look, I don't know if him and UnsightedPort made contact or if that was just Moo losing it underneath of Unsighted as we're on the last lap.
Yes, we are. On the final lap of the Grand Prix, Miniko has 15 more corners. He'll win on track, but he will not win the French Grand Prix. 15 seconds, unless a steward's inquiry gets posted. He will not be the victor here tonight in La Castellet. And it's going to be the battle between Bailey, between Raptor, between Port and Taylor. And don't count out Jared. He has that chance as well in the Alpine. He's going to grab a good points finish tonight. Tweaking signs the drive-through. He has not served the drive-through. He will be disqualified unless he does it this lap. Bailey, Raptor, both dumping down the back straightaway. This is Raptor's chance. He can't get him so far. Practically pushing. They need to get 3 seconds on UnsightedPort or hope that Port gets a time penalty as well.
Yeah, that's the only thing they have to hope for right now is Unsighted gets a penalty.
This race has been not like any other.
It's been chaotic.
It has definitely been chaotic. From wet to intermediates to dries in almost a matter of instants. We had a race got flipped upside down. The leader went from no time penalties and a sure shot to win to 15. It was a Red Bull win 2 weeks ago. It was a Red Bull win a week ago. It's a Red Bull win on track, but not off track from penalties. Bailey, he'll take the lead. Port will win the French Grand Prix like he did in Portimao and he did in China. The third Grand Prix victory for McLaren, 22nd time penalty. Brian tweaking in the French Grand Prix. Wow.
Ron Swanson promotes to P6 with having no penalties. Jared, driver
of the day goes to BRC Jared. Yes, it does. From 17th on the grid.
I wasn't able to take a look at the final results. Only real quick. Well, UnsightedPort, he won China. Was it China or Portugal?
Both.
Both. Well, this is the result McLaren needed after having a couple of races, having some issues, and Red Bull after 2 straight 1-2 finishes, no points, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we said it was a chaotic race. I was not lying at all.
Oh, well.
UnsightedPort comes home and takes the victory here in France for the 3rd time. He won at Canada. I'm sorry, he won at China. He won at Portimao. Now he wins in Le Castellet. Bailey grabs another podium, and it's another 2nd place finish for the AlphaTauri team. Raptor comes home 3rd, Jared 4th, Taylor 5th, Ron Swanson up to 6th. Kieran Evans grabs 7th position for Williams. Miniko down in 8th, Crispy 9th, MooMoo 10th, Fern 11th, Cookie 12th, Phantom tweaking, DXD Ishigo we lost from the Grand Prix, Zachthebeast, Axif1, Ferrari and Luciano, and the Alfa Romeo of Edron Hunt did not start. Wow.
What a weird race. Where it's raining, I guess, now after the race, but that was the weirdest part, is it went from being overcast and wet to all of a sudden being bone dry. Take note of that for the future.
All right.
I don't think Supply has a mic, by the way.
No. I invited him. He said he wanted to join.
Bless.
Bailey invited him.
I did.
Okay.
I don't think Supply has a mic.
Port, you're lucky I didn't turn it on you. Okay, man. Do me.
All right. When we come to you... Oh, well.
Oh. Nah, he's back.
Okay. When we come to you, make sure the box on the top of the party is clicked so we can hear your voice through the stream, and for the podium interviews. And I'll hand it off to Bois for 2nd place and for 3rd place, Raptor and Bailey.
Oh, I'm sorry. So explain the chaotic second half of that race. Because it seemed like the rain, it was a wet start, and then all of a sudden being wet to dry. How was that on y'all's end? Okay. How confident were you at the end with the softs? Were you able to get to up front. Did you see the win as a possibility? Well, that's a good podium for you. I believe this is your second race with Mercedes, correct? Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully you can stay. Certainly a result like this validates you being in that seat, in my opinion. Bailey, you were the first off the pit road on softs. And at the time, didn't have any penalties. What was going through your mind?
Okay. At the final few laps, all I thought about was the bugs. All the bugs that happened. You know, the instant change from wet to dry, and the thunderstorms, and the very heavy rain. But yeah, that's. I kind of choked at the final bit because I got a penalty. But yeah, I'm still happy with the podium.
I believe this is what, your second podium? Your first was Monaco.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thinking, sorry, maybe lose my train of thought. Talk about that weather glitch, because on our end, it went from being complete raining to all of a sudden being bone dry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How long, like, did y'all notice that initially, or did that take a couple of corners till y'all realized it was dry?
Oh, okay, here. So Jeff told me to pit onto hards, and I was like, but how are we gonna go into hards? And then going on to turn 1, it just turns into dry. I'm like, oh, okay, so he maybe is right. But yeah, I've learned to trust Jeff. I didn't trust him, and that happened. But yeah, other people, it stayed wet for them. For example, Zach, it stayed wet for him, and yeah, it stayed wet for him. His tires were like below temperature, like far below temperature. But yeah, it's very weird.
Very interesting. What's funny is I saw the glitch and I had to ask Katra, like, hey, look at your screen, because I was kind of flabbergasted of what the heck has just happened here. And to talk about the battle between you and Moo. Was what happened there? Was there contact there, or did the medium tires not working out from Moo at the end?
Oh, okay. I did not remember what you were talking about. Where he like, yeah, he like did the little half spin thing, and then he hit me, and then he spun. I don't know what to tell you there. I'm just kind of like the meme king out of this race. I think I was in every position in the top 10 at some point in the race.
I would agree.
Just, you know, keep it between the white lines. I was saying multiple prayers that Bailey would get a penalty, and yeah, I made a bet, so.
Well, you go do that. You be responsible. How hard were you pushing once Bailey got the penalty, and were you aware that basically everyone around you had a penalty but you? And also, did you have any warnings prior to that?
Yeah, so once Bailey got the penalty, I was kind of just concerned with sticking with them. I knew Zeno was going to be off in the distance. I tried to keep it within that penalty amount to him, which I did. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I ate a warning on the final lap because I dive bombed supply, but I didn't make it stick, so I kind of just cut the track. But I only had one warning before that, so that was fine. Yeah.
Well, this makes your third win of the year.
I thought it was
not
4.
Was it 4?
It's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah. That's a championship lead, though. Woo!
I was about to ask, do you, after a couple of races, the first 5 you and McLaren were driving brilliantly, do you think that this is the point to where you can get the championship back on track?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's gonna need some chaos from Red Bull. but yeah.
Well, it can be unpredictable. We only had one of them finishing in the points. I believe Miniko got P8, which is surprising. I didn't think Red Bull was actually going to get a point. So that massively changes both champs.
Okay, Zeno's gonna get his 10-second removed, so that'll put him P2, but also win. So.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and just bring pain to Bailey and supply with that.
Yeah, sorry about that, but.
What was, because we saw that as well. We saw like Zach got 2 10s, and then Miniko got 2 10s. Do you know what those were about?
Zach, he got it because he was spinning. That's all.
Zeno's with
I was
his
with him.
entry.
Yeah, and then Zach was just him spinning in rain. Well, not the rain, but in the rain.
That is the weirdest glitch I have ever heard of.
Not in the rain, but in the rain.
I wonder if he streamed, because I would.
No, he
I want to see that.
He doesn't stream.
Oh, that's right. Well, Katra, what you got for him?
Well, that should be it, I believe, unless you want to say anything else.
Good.
Alrighty. Well,
My food is dry.
if you liked the racing you saw on track tonight, well, we'll have tomorrow Tier 3 and Tier Eastern Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time around the French Grand Prix and Le Castellet Circuit and Paul Ricard. Well, it's not just them too. Saturday, we have Tier 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Tier 1 at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have some fun there with the likes of the Tier 1 and 2 drivers, as well as the Tier 3 and Tier 4 drivers tomorrow on Friday. On Saturday, if you don't like Formula 1 racing, that's completely fine. We head to Brands Hatch in the Assetto Corsa Competizione with Axif1 will lead the charge and bring you the action from the booth of the Assetto Corsa Competizione booth. But from us here in Realistic, myself, Catcher, alongside with Wah, and the 3 drivers in the booth, UnsightedPort, Bailey, and Supply Raptor, and the rest of the Realistic grid here in the Breakout Racing League, we wish you a good night, and thanks for watching.